Hello and welcome back to another installment of Fodder. And wow, just like before I even get into any kind of gameplay or anything, wow. First things first, and I'm still, oh, the Aquamarine Hall is going on. I did not know this. That is not even what we are here to talk about. It's the first thing we're here to talk about. Figures for that mythical Pokemon are here. But who is the mythical Pokemon? Pokemon Duel has been downloaded over 34 million times worldwide. To show our appreciation, we're holding an extreme gratitude event starting May 1st, 8 UTC. Figures for that mythical Pokemon may finally arrive in the extreme gratitude event. I don't know why they're putting a question mark there. You're hyping up this extreme gratitude event, so it better be in there. Characteristics. These figures, and it's plural. So they just show one base of a figure here. So is this a figure that changes forms? That would be my guess. If it says figures can change forms. But I don't think it's the Rotom line, because we already have that, so that's not it. So what other figure out there changes forms? You guys tell me in the comments below. These figures can change forms. Their MP changes when they change. This sounds like Rotom. These powerful figures give you more strategic possibilities. Mega Evolution doesn't end. They have new abilities that can change the tactical situation. The timing of the event may change without notice. Images may not be final. That's a pretty interesting little teaser there. Let me know what you guys think. What is this that we have coming? And coming just in a matter of days. What is unique about this maintenance announcement, before I get diving into the maintenance announcement, is how early we are receiving the maintenance announcement. Typically we get it the day before, like 20 hours maybe-ish, maybe not even that far, maybe 24 hours. Maybe 24 hours is typically when we get the announcement. But this one we're getting several days in advance. And here's what we've got. They're revising the text for Slaykoth ability. I'm not going to say nobody cares, because it may be an important change, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen Slaykoth being used. Obviously, you can't play during the maintenance event. Set up your data transfers. You know, K-Dub, who has a YouTube channel, you should go check him out. He does really quality work. After the most recent update went live, he tried to log in and his game wasn't working. Like, it's just, I don't even know. It just kept kicking him out and not loading up, even though he had downloaded the update and restarted his phone and everything, and it still wasn't updating. And it will send a shot of adrenaline through you and a panic through you. Now, he went to sleep and woke up in the morning, everything was fine. But go ahead and set up those data transfers. If it's been a while since you've done a data transfer, go ahead and do another one. And then make sure you have those game IDs, or not game IDs, but user IDs and your passwords handy, just to be safe. And let's talk about, it says some changes, but these are a lot of changes, and they don't appear to be changes just to be changing. They actually look pretty solid. Remember, any of these figures that get buffs or changes, go in and adjust them in your game. The first one is Tapu Bulu. Like, Tapu Bulu just came out, relatively speaking. That it is, the first thing that I don't get is, why are they buffing new figures and just completely forgetting about older figures, it seems like. I don't get it. I don't get it, but there's got to be a plan. Tapu Bulu changed full swing 100 to full swing 20. I already like it. Like, okay, I'll take an extra 10 damage. Tapu Bulu's ability is extremely effective as a countermeasure against Celesteela's Rendezvous and Flame Gun attacks, which most people know because of the most recent gem. And against EX Zoroark's cross counter. When Tapu Bulu is on the field, your grass-type Pokemon ignore these knockout and movement-causing effects of opponents' attacks on your turn. Also, its full swing attack, which damages and moves an adjacent Pokemon to a point 3 steps away, is a powerful attack that can alter the tactical situation. By increasing the attack's damage value to 120, we have further improved the usefulness of EX Tapu Bulu. And I'm gonna say that, yes, you probably have. That is a nice buff. And the other side of Tapu Bulu's wheel is a 99. And some people might say, well, 99 is still pretty underwhelming. But you do have Zoroark. And remember, you don't want too much damage. Like, the 120 is going to get you knocked out. And if grass is going to become a thing, a lot of grass figures have the grass knot ability. So you don't want it doing too much damage. And 120 for a primary attack with 99 as an alternate attack is not a bad wheel. I'll take it. I like the buff to Tapu Bulu, which was already a nice figure. Now, do I think Tapu Bulu is going to be played more? Maybe. It depends on what other grass figures we get to go with Tapu Bulu. But if they don't release any new figures, I don't think Tapu Bulu on its own, just the buff, is going to get it played more often. Although it still is a really nice counter to Tapu Koko. EX Terrakion. Okay, now this is a figure that is older. It's like a year. It's actually a little bit over a year. Maybe about a year. It's probably about a year, if I remember correctly. Because Virizion came out first with the Grass Banner, and then they did the rest of the Swords of Justice. And Terrakion came out with Koba. Is it? Yeah, Koba. Why am I drawing a blank? But I think it's Cobalion. Anyways, Terrakion changed Stone Edge 120 to Stone Edge 130 and increased its wheel piece size. Okay. Decreased the wheel piece size of Protect. Now that is, I actually think that is a better buff than the changing the 120 to 130. Terrakion is extremely powerful against figures with wide blue attacks like Tapu Koko and Nihilego, since it can change blue attacks into misses with its beatdown ability. Remember that, beatdown ability. But it was having a tough time against opposing figures that didn't have blue attacks. While Stone Edge attack is relatively narrow white attack, we've increased its damage value to 130, so it should be easier to utilize. My problem with Terrakion wasn't the 120. It was actually the fact that it was super unreliable to land a physical attack because the Protect was so big. I think that's a great change. That's great. That is a direct counter to the Ultra Beasts. And, 130 itself isn't going to get up and over the damage of Celesteela. But with chain levels, like mine's chain level 10, and since it's been out for a while, I think most people probably have a chain or two in it. Now I'm going to have to rethink, because currently mine's at 109, and I may have to consider making it 140 and just leave the 101, depending on how much bigger it is. Hopefully it's not just 4. Hopefully they go 8 and take 4 away from each of the Protects. That's what I would like to see there. Love, love, love this. I think it makes Terrakion very usable again. I already thought Terrakion was usable, but I think this just makes it even more usable. Aggron. an older figure. So this is really nice to see. And I think this is the second buff that Aggron has received. Change the effects of territoriality ability. Now I don't know what that means, to tell you the truth. Changed Iron Tail 120 to Iron Tail 140 and increased its wheel piece size. Okay. My problem with Aggron is it was A, it was 1 MP, but B, it had a lot going on its wheel, and all the pieces were kind of small, and like you just couldn't really rely on any one thing. So they're making its best move stronger and bigger. I'm a fan of that. Changed Roar, which was the last buff that I got, to Brutal Swing, and decreased its wheel piece size. So now it has the same blue that Guzzlord has. And before you say, well, before I read on, because I'm not sure what they did to the effect of the ability there, and we'll probably get into it in a minute. But my initial thought is that's really a big deal, because if it still has a territoriality, it's a hard word to say. If it still has that ability, this Brutal Swing is an amazing move because it throws the figure one space away. So if you can see where I'm going with this, and I don't want to go through all this and then have it be changed. But basically what I'm thinking before I read further on is your opponent comes up, gets next to Aggron, has to attack because of the ability, attacks, you land blue, you're going to throw that figure one space away. On that next move, that figure is going to have to attack you again. That is an amazing mechanic for a figure. I really like that. I think that would be super annoying to go against, but hopefully they didn't change anything, because I think that makes it a very strategic decision of how you play around this figure. And changed Heavy Slam 50 to Heavy Slam 90. I'm fine with that. Maybe they should just unilaterally go through and change all the 50s up to 90s. I don't know. That's like power creep at its worst. But EX Aggron faces figures that MP move next to it to attack it if possible. However, its 1 MP made it difficult to use early in a match. Now we changed the ability so it gains +1 MP while it is on the bench. We've also powered up the damage value of Iron Tail to 140. So it doesn't say anything about changing the territoriality. It sounds like it's still going to have that ability, but now it's going to have the shiny Rayquaza treatment of 2 MP off the bench, which I think makes this a really nice figure against rush decks. I mean, if you think about it, if you're able to move 2 MP off the bench, yeah, you're only going to have 1 MP, but it's a pretty strong figure. You get it 2 MP off the bench, you can set up, and then all those little weak runners that come at you in those rush decks are going to be forced to attack on their turn and probably get knocked out. And that's going to allow you to clear out your entry points a little bit better. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of these changes. At one time I was contemplating taking this figure to level 5 just for the LOLs. Remember, I was practicing with a Banishing Tapu Koko and making my Aggron 3 MP because of its ability. I really like this figure in that strat now. So just keep that in mind. Rayquaza is getting like its 14th update, and shiny Rayquaza. Increase the wheel piece size of Extreme Speed and decrease the wheel piece size of Break Energy and Fly, which is great because Break Energy has no point in the game anymore. Fly can actually be useful for getting a 1 MP figure pretty far down the field quickly. We've buffed EX Rayquaza by decreasing the wheel piece size of its Break Energy attack, which has been a weak point in it in terms of damage values, while expanding the wheel piece size of Extreme Speed to 140, which has the best damage value among the gold attacks of currently available figures. Currently available figures. Are we getting a gold attack of over 140? And if they're changing Fly and Break Energy, that means that Extreme Speed, the gold move, is going to go up at least 8. That's going to make it huge. I believe that's going to make it a larger gold attack than Zapdos. And they've buffed Shiny Rayquaza at the same time. It's a dragon and flying type Pokemon. So if your Altaria are on the field, Rayquaza gains plus 20 damage for each Altaria, which is extremely powerful. I told you we had a ton to go over. Tyranitar, change Crunch 70 to Dragon Tail 90. Okay. The major characteristic of Tyranitar is its Earthquake attack, which affects the whole field. However, there's low usage rate for figures that have wide misses in duels at top leagues. And when you throw in the fact that the damage values of Bite and Crunch could be inadequate, and I don't think could be is the proper term, I think is inadequate, this figure was struggling to stand out. We've buffed Tyranitar by changing its Crunch 70 attack to Dragon Tail 90, a white attack with the effect that moves a battle opponent to the bench. Even if Tyranitar is knocked out by losing to a white attack or gold attack from a battle opponent, the effect that moves the battle opponent to the bench is potent. So this figure should now be more capable of eliminating battle opponents on the field. I like Dragon Tail. I wish it was in more figures, not going against those figures, but when I have those figures. Because if you think about it, is it Stuffle has wave arms, which sends you back to the bench, and it can be a really nice counter rush. Like it counters the rush is basically what happens. Because even if you lose the roll, your opponent's going to go back to the bench. I like Dragon Tail. I think it's a very useful move. Tyranitar, with its buffs, if it's going to 90 in evolution, makes it a 100 move. It gains 1 MP after evolving. We'll see. We'll see how substantial the change is. I don't know that that's enough to make Tyranitar usable, although all signs are pointing to we're getting Mega Tyranitar as well, and that may make it worth using. Additionally, we have Pupitar. Added the beatdown ability. Remember I said, remember that while talking about Terrakion. The aforementioned Tyranitar gets 2 MP by evolving for Pupitar. We've made it easier for you to evolve Pupitar into Tyranitar by adding the beatdown ability to Pupitar. This ability, which is the same as that of Terrakion, changes the blue attacks of the battle opponent to misses. Pupitar is not a terrible figure, and you don't need a lot of damage to beat figures that have large misses. Pupitar was run as a runner for a while, pre-Dio, like about the same time that Dios came out. I have to say, all of these like rebalances, I'm on board with. I think it makes each one of these figures usable. I honestly do. Tyranitar maybe less so than the rest, but I really think these are the type of balances that I like to see, where they take figures who are on the cusp of really being solid figures in the meta, and some that are being used. Like I use Terrakion. It's a little underwhelming, but it's good at what it does. My complaint, and when I put Carmonite into it, I reduced the blue. So they went in and just reduced the blue for me. These buffs and updates are a direct answer to Ultra Beast decks and Rush decks. And that is the meta. So the meta is going to shift again as people start playing these figures. I need a drink of coffee because that was a lot to go over right there. Now, completely unrelated to any and all of that is, in yesterday's video, I talked about the Gothitelle deck. Rico actually did a live stream yesterday where he talked about the Gothitelle deck, and I was doing some room matches with Booms from my Discord. And the first game is I was trying to get some practice with my Gothitelle deck. and he messaged me, he goes, what the heck is going on? Why is everybody running the Gothic Mon? And so it was kind of funny. But like I said, I thought that the deck could be better than what was there. And so I added in my Terrakion and Tapu Koko into this deck. Same basic principle as everything else. I don't like Zoro, don't like Zoroark, and I just think after the initial rush, I think Deoxys Speed Form is a liability. And like I said, like the player who is running this in my Discord, and I should have gone and looked at his name before, Tavolt, I'm almost positive it's Tavolt, made it work the way it was. But that doesn't mean that it can't be improved. And I'm not saying that this is improved. I'm saying that I like this for my play style better. And I haven't been using the deck nearly as long as he has. And I watched one of his matches, and he was an absolute wizard at setting up what he needed to get done with this deck. I'm going to have a little bit of problem here because we are having Solgaleo and Lunala on my opponent's deck, which prohibit movements. So my Cheese, let's see, does he have Hurdle Jump? He has 2 Hurdle Jumps. So conventional wisdom would say be safe and protect your goal. And the double chances are there specifically for Gothitelle, but I'm not going to let S Wills just run up my throat. So here we go. And I had the double chance because if I missed, that was GG. And we all know that that I have a tendency to miss. Okay, so now that is taken care of, we are going to drop, because he does have, dang, he's got Blaziken as well. We can live with that. We can live with that move. So we're just going to hop over here. Now what my opponent should do is go cover his goal. If not, you already know we're going to double chance into Kyurem here with all that juicy white, and we're gonna go for the teleport cheese. Rule number 1: when your opponent brings Cosmog out onto the board, you've got to cover your goal. And seriously, he lands that. Actually, that's fine. We're gonna let him fly. Seriously. Like, what was that? Was that 12? I can't teleport, so I'll just go over here. And we now have 2 corners. 12. A 12 wheel slice is what he lands. We don't want Lunala playing around. So we're going to bring out our Lunala. Yeah. If he brings his Blaziken down, and here we go, we're down to our last double chance. We can tie with his purple. We can beat his white and his misses. We're gonna need to look, and he doesn't have this gold. Oh, crud. Now we have to land it, and we don't. Ah, that's unfortunate. We went for the win, and you know what? It's all good. I can actually attack with my Lunola. If he doesn't move down, he is going to move down. He is going to double chance. Wow. Okay. That's perfect. Now, here's the question. I'm just going to attack here. Because he's not going to have his gold. And because I'm gaining an extra star on all of my purple attacks there. That was a pretty safe attack, relatively speaking. And he doesn't like... Okay. Once again, you're gonna go. It's a good thing I got the additional star there. I'm gonna need to dial up a clutch roll. That's pretty clutch. And I could attack again, but I'm actually gonna go this route. I'm gonna need my figures to clutch up a little bit here this morning. They aren't doing it right now. I need one of us to roll blue. That doesn't even resemble a blue. So I'm gonna have to do the smart thing. I'm gonna have to back off. That is pretty unfortunate. Man, I don't know what's going on here, but I cannot buy. Thank you. Like, I have knockouts, so it's not a problem knocking them out, but this whole transaction over here in this corner was pretty ridiculous. Alright, so Gothitelle, now the board is basically completely emptied out. Devoid of additional figures. We'll take our Tapu Lele. Unfortunately, our Cosmog is most likely going to get demolished here. We'll block him off from advancing. We'll throw Tapu Koko up here. If we don't get knocked out, we can do a surround. Of course, then we give up our entry point. Not really sure that is a good exchange. All right, we're gonna roll the miss. We'll go here because I don't want to move the other figure. We'll go there. That could be a pretty easy knockout for him. We rolled the miss. We'll take over entry point number 3. That is going to turn Mew's gold into miss, which should give me a free... Oh boy, here we go. Hold your fingers. And let's go for a purple. Ball game. Ball game. Wish I had saved my double chances, but at the end of the day, we didn't need them. That's where Lele really comes in handy there. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And let's go for one. Wait, I don't even know what just happened here. I don't want that. Let's go for one more game. It's Friday. we'll do a little bit longer video for Friday. So we have our opponent here. We are going to be going up against, okay, kind of a Nebby deck, a Boo-Boo, like a bunch of just random figures. Just random good figures. Blaziken's good. Lunala's good. 2 Blazikens. Oh, that might be overkill. But the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to rule number 1. Cover our goal. As soon as that Cosmog comes out on the board, we're not going to play around. I think that Lunala is going to be our best bet as a goalie. We're going to go with Tapu Lele to front up against his Coco. We're going to put Lunala up there because he can't teleport cheese past Lunala. And then we're going to take Coco out. So, okay. And I actually played that wrong. I actually should have gone straight to my goal because if he didn't attack, I have to bring Coco. Coco can only get to one of these 2 spots. Then he hops over, attacks into Tapu Lele, looking for the quick cheese. So I actually played that wrong. I got bailed out a little bit there. Double Chance is going down from Blaziken, looking for the Cyclone Kick. He was not rewarded with a Cyclone Kick on try number 1. Nor was he rewarded with a Cyclone Kick on try number 2. So my question is, do I attack Tapu Koko or no? And I decided against it. Tapu Koko wouldn't have had its gold move. So maybe that would have been the better play. He's going to have to put his Tapu Koko on goal. Or he could come out and double chance attack, I guess. He's going to do that. He's going to go with the double chance. Try to land the Cyclone Kick. And so far it's unsuccessful again. We have to avoid the 33 wheel slice of Cyclone Kick, which we are successful. Gothitelle and Cosmog never even come off the bench because Lunala does a clean sweep after being a no-show in the previous game. So 2 victories to carry you into the weekend. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about these new updates and buffs? Are you excited? What is the new figures coming out to the game? And until next time.